Hello, everyone. This is Jeremy, and you are watching Retro Fat. Today, we are watching the 8th episode of Season 3, which is the 32nd episode overall of the classic 80s sitcom, Just the 10 of Us. This episode is called Dangerous Liaison. It was directed by James Widows and written by Jake and Mike Weinberger, and originally aired on November 17th, 1989. Now, this episode is kind of interesting. It is probably, up to this point in the series, the wildest we have seen Wendy get, and that'll be a lot of fun. We also are going to, if you are a fan of Growing Pains, you may recognize a face in this. I'll point it out when it happens, but if you're a fan, you'll catch it. So let's go.
We promised our daddy that we would be home by 11, so such a kidder. Actually, our daddy died years ago, so here's a little song we'd like to dedicate to him, and, well, anything in pants.
Sparks fly across the room. Into your arms, this feeling's holding us so tight. We can dance so very close. It's almost like we're one. But I can't stop hoping there'll be so much more before the night is done. Do you wanna make something loving? Who knows what we might discover? Make something of it tonight.
Okay, I have a few things to say. So first of all, you saw me pointing, and I'm not good with my right and left, clearly. So the man on the jukebox, that is actor Kevin Wickstead. I think I'm saying his name right. He played Bobby Wynette on Growing Pains. He was I think he was the captain of the football team, and he was doing really poorly. And Coach Lubbock actually had Carol Seaver tutor him so he wouldn't get kicked off the team. He was on several episodes in seasons 2 and 3 of Growing Pains. Didn't look like he's done much acting since the late 90s, but I think this is an interesting example of how the creators of the show like to use, I'm assuming they like to use actors they knew they could trust that would work well creatively with them. So it's kind of fun to see him here. I also have to comment yet again on the credits. So this is November of 1989. I am really curious, and if anybody knows of any examples, please let me know. But I cannot think of any show that ever really changed the credits at the time the way Just the 10 of Us did. The Simpsons, which has a couch gag, was still a month away from premiering. It was on the Tracy Ullman show at this point, but the actual first episode of The Simpsons didn't happen until December of '89. That's the earliest example that I can really think of where the credits were changed. We see this now on shows. Community is the one that comes to mind as being a really good example of sometimes they'll change the credits to fit like the theme if they're doing a special show. But Just the 10 of Us would often switch things up if the Lubbock Babes were singing. And I just find that so interesting. And nobody else really did this and didn't do it for the longest time. I want to know who was the first show to actually routinely change the credits like this, and not just when a cast member left or was added or when the season changed. I cannot think of any examples. I'm not saying Just 10 of Us is the first, but I definitely feel very confident saying they were one of the earliest for sure. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking now. Let's keep watching.
Go be constipated someplace else?
Compliments of the angry, rebellious gentleman in leather.
We'll take it back. I'm not interested. We're going home.
It's not for you. The tray is heavy. Not so fast. I need some ID.
Oh, you're new here, aren't you?
Not that new. What are you doing?
I'm showing her my ID.
You're looking pretty good for 41.
Oh, Wendy, don't be so stupid. Give her the idea that says you're 16. I'm starting the car. They've started hosing down the parking lot. Well, if you guys want to ride, I'm going now.
Wait, Marie, come on. This could be Wendy's Mr. Right.
Mr. Right? He looks like something Dan Rather met on Quack Street. Makes my flesh crawl.
Then shouldn't you stop staring at him?
I should.
Guys, you're not gonna believe this. Dice is taking me for a ride.
Dice? Ooh! Cindy, stop it. Just stop it.
With guys like this, anything can happen. You're reading my mind.
Short read.
We're going. No more argument.
That's right, you gotta get home to cover for me.
Yes. No.
Come on, Marie, I'd lie for you if you got incredibly lucky and met some really desperate guy.
I am not going to lie for you just so that you can go out with some brooding, dangerous...
Baby, please, will you loosen up for me?
Oh, my pleasure.
So I saw someone leave a comment a few weeks back, and I've noticed it's absolutely true that Marie really, she's very sensual, like maybe the most of any of the sisters when she's singing. Like, you know, she gets really into it. She dances, and maybe it's just because it's such a stark difference from straight-laced Marie to performer Marie. And there's part of it's like, it's something, this being in Danny's Pizzeria, is that making her a little more susceptible. I also have to comment here that Wendy said she would lie for Marie, and I 110% believe that, to the point that I think it would actually make Wendy extremely happy if she ever had the opportunity to lie for Marie, like she's wanting Marie to do for her now. We also know that Marie, who may be the most boy crazy of all of them, a bad boy, just, you know, she can't resist it, and she's gonna lie for Wendy. We're gonna see it happen in this next scene, if I'm remembering correctly.
Welcome to The Love Connection, where old-fashioned romance meets new technology, where you hear all the intimate details of a first date. And now, here's your host, Chuck Woolery.
My man.
Well, I finally got Melissa back to sleep.
Cocktail?
Well, thank you, honey. You wearing mint cologne?
I might be.
We're in the living room.
Then let's live.
Honey, Sherry and JR.
They're asleep.
No, we're not.
This is gross.
You're supposed to be in bed.
So are you.
Would you please keep your voices down? I just got Melissa back to sleep.
Yeah, what are you doing down here anyway?
We gotta be somewhere.
All right, everybody to bed now. 1, 2.
Okay. But one of these days I'm gonna hang around and see what happens when you get to 3.
Where were we?
We're on our way to the bedroom.
But we don't have a TV up there.
Oh, honey, can't you be amorous without Chuck Woolery?
I'll be honest. He helps.
Gone out on a bus before? No.
They're making out.
What are we gonna do, Marie?
We do nothing. They're married. You're allowed to have sex when you don't enjoy it.
No, I mean, what are we gonna tell Mom and Dad?
What are you asking me for? I'm new to lying, remember?
We wouldn't have a problem if Wendy were here. She'd know how to explain to Mom and Dad why she wasn't with us.
Hey, this has to be believable, credible, realistic.
Wow, you're really getting into this whole lying thing, aren't you?
Well, I promised Dice, didn't I? And if people can't trust me to lie for them, then what good is my word? We don't have to lie. We just go in. Dad'll be so embarrassed, he'll apologize to us. For what?
Hi, Chris. How you doing?
Yeah, we're-
Jeez, is it that late? How was the
watching
singing?
a little,
I bet you really knocked him
TV.
dead.
Well, good night.
Yeah, go to bed. That's a good idea. I'm sorry you had to see this, but you know your mother gets a little crazy when old Chuck Woolery pops up.
Wait a minute here. Hey, where's Wendy?
Wendy?
Wendy Lubbock? Yes. Didn't she come home with you? What do you mean? Wendy just ran upstairs. She had cramps.
I didn't see her.
Well, I don't wonder. You're gonna just love this dance club. Everybody who's anybody's gonna be there.
Well, I don't get it. Why should I have to be 21 just to go dancing? I'm old enough to get pregnant, but not old enough to dance.
Who needs any of the suicide trips this town lays on you, huh? Need some smokes.
And nobody thinks I can attract a guy with depth. I better get some breath spray.
Anything else? Yeah, everything else.
Hey, look, don't shoot, please. Look, I'll give you all the money.
Hey, what are you doing in here?
Oh, I need this.
Take anything you want. My treat.
Oh, you're dull. Ooh, look, I'm on TV. Hi. What are you doing with that gun?
Shopping.
You're robbing the store? Oh my God. You really are dangerous.
Come on, come on, come on!
Few things. I meant to pause it. I didn't pause it time earlier, and I don't like to disrupt a scene if I can avoid it. I like that we see Graham and Elizabeth be passionate with each other. There are so many shows, even today, that make sex between a married couple look like such a burden for the wife. And Elizabeth is clearly as into it as Graham is, and I really like seeing that. I think that is just, it's pleasant. It makes me happy. Simple as that. I also, Wendy's line, "You really are dangerous." That's obviously going to come into play later in the episode. That was clearly a sitcom line. And based on what we see Wendy do next, I'm not entirely sure that I buy it, because we're about to see that she's very traumatized by this. But, you know, it is a sitcom. You still have to play by the rules. I also have to comment on one thing Wendy said. We know she's 16. We learned that earlier with the fake ID. And she said, "I'm old enough to get pregnant, but not old enough to dance or get into the club," whatever the line was. This is 1989. I don't see many shows in prime time on one of the main networks making a joke like that today, that blatantly, without anything else to it. That's pretty bold. I mean, it happens, but not in 1989. And that's, again, Growing Pains and Just the 10 of Us were both very ahead of edgy humor. Okay, sorry. Back to the show.
Who the hell? What time is it? Jeez. Who the hell is this? Why no, officer. Wendy? Yes? She did what? Oh. Elizabeth!
First of all, that's one of the rare other sets of PJs we see him wear. He usually wears the red, white, and blue stripe number. Secondly, I want to know if that was his own stunt. I couldn't get a good look at him as he was coming down the stairs, but I can be very easily convinced that Bill Kirchenbauer did that. I don't want to rewind right now to verify, but that looked like it might have been him, and I want to know if it was. But anyway, okay.
Elizabeth, will you stop with the bead rattling? I want the police to think you're some sort of a nutcase.
Since when are you ashamed of me praying?
I'm not ashamed. I just don't want other people to see you do it.
This attitude isn't any wonder Wendy's in trouble.
Are you suggesting she got this behavior from me?
I'm just saying that sometimes a child can misinterpret the strange behavior of a parent.
What do I do that's strange?
Well, let's start with Chuck Woolery.
I'm not in the mood, Elizabeth. Your daughter's in jail.
Oh, my daughter?
No Lubbock has ever done time.
Oh, are you saying she got this from my side of the family?
Well, let's just say that I don't have a certain Uncle Dick.
Well, if you want to believe that bogus evidence, you go right ahead. I, for one, believe Dick. He just forgot he wasn't wearing pants.
Oh, yeah? Well, what was Dickie doing at the YWCA?
Excuse me, I'm Detective Peters.
Oh, Mom, Dad, thank God you're here. You don't know what I've been through, the abuse I've taken. I mean, who do these people think they are?
Can the crapola, Wendy.
Well, that's a fine how do you do.
What do you expect? You've been arrested for armed robbery.
I know, can you believe it?
Oh, don't make us answer that.
What's going on here? You two act like I was the wheelman or something.
Wheelman? She doesn't even have a license.
As a matter of fact, she has 6 of them. Tracy Ormandy, Charlene Yamaguchi, Kathy Evelyn Champagne King.
I don't care.
Oh, this is a good one. Roger Musburger.
I don't even know my own daughter.
Well, excuse me, is it a crime to have phony ID?
Yes.
Good. We'll get to the bottom of this. Thanks, Dano. Yeah, the convenience store had a surveillance camera, so we'll soon know the truth.
Just a second here. You two can stay and view this videotape if you wish. Or you can take the word of honor from your own flesh and blood.
Roll it.
I'm on TV. Hi. What are you doing with that gun?
Shopping.
You're robbing the store? Oh my God! You really are dangerous. Here! Oh, jeez. Look, I'm really sorry. I don't even know this guy. This is horrible. I mean, he's robbing you. I had no idea. Oh, Mommy! Don't even bother to apologize. Just take me home. They're chafing.
If you'd like me to trump up a charge or two, I'd be glad to do it.
I'll call you.
Wow. If Dad did this to the desk, just think what he'll do to Wendy.
What's going on? Nothing, sweetie. Go back to bed. She's too young and innocent to understand any of this.
Wendy's pregnant, isn't she?
Go to bed!
Wendy, you just don't get it, do you? You think because the police can't prosecute that you're innocent. Well, you're wrong. You're in this up to your eyeballs. And if it's not obvious to you, it's obvious to every other human being on the face of this planet.
What was Dice like?
All non-felons to bed.
Well, what about young girls facing the eternal fires of hell?
Them too.
All right, now, Wendy. Wendy?
Wendy?
Well, you said go to bed.
No. Only innocent people go to bed.
You're right. I don't even deserve this sleep.
Elizabeth, do something with her.
Hurry, get the hell out of here. Oh, pardon my French. I'm upset. Well, me too.
Wendy, this can go hard on you or this can go easy. But before you leave this room tonight, you will understand what you did was wrong, why it was wrong, and why you will never, ever do it again.
Great. Let me slip out of my heels.
I think Heidi Ziegler has really great comic timing. I love her delivery. Sherry gets a lot of good lines. She doesn't get many, but when she gets one, it's pretty well delivered, especially with Marie saying, she's too young and innocent. And then Sherry comes stomping right back downstairs and is like, Wendy's pregnant, isn't she? That's pretty funny. I also love that Marie is so distraught and so tore up. And in her mind, lying to her parents for Wendy is the same as Wendy being present during an armed robbery. But that's how Marie thinks. And it's funny.
Wendy, get your butt down here now!
All right. Your pants on. I had to take the rest of my makeup off. So, what's got you so upset?
We're looking at her.
You guys act like I did something wrong. Have you guys considered this? If this Dice guy had done his little robbery before he picked me up, I'd be in no trouble whatsoever. I think it's him you should be mad at.
Well, I'll talk to him in 5 to 7 years.
So you don't assume any responsibility in what happened tonight? You did everything right? You were a saint?
Well, I should have come home on time.
And
the next time I'm late, I'll be sure to call.
Oh, forget your curfew.
all right.
Mom, you heard him. You can't take it back now. You can't take it back.
Wendy, the question is, what was your responsibility in all of this?
Daddy, how was I supposed to know he was a criminal? I mean, he seems so sweet. He sent me a beer.
A beer?
Which I didn't drink a drop of.
Wendy, now you knew this guy was more than sweet. I saw it on the tape. You said you thought he was dangerous.
Oh, I didn't mean dangerous. I meant dangerous, like hot, sexy, jumpable.
What kind of an answer is that? Graham, I don't think that yelling is going to help here.
Well, what will, a cattle prod?
If you could just tell me what you want to hear, I would be more than happy to say it.
Elizabeth, we're chasing our stinking tails here.
Oh, okay. All right, everybody, listen. Come here. Why don't we recreate the evening? And then maybe you'll see your responsibility in all this. So, how did you meet Dice?
Well, we were singing the last song of the evening. Oh, and I was doing this really neat move. Let me show you. And then I saw him standing there.
Oh, well, why don't we move to later in the evening?
Oh, okay, we danced to a song. I think it was Tangled Up in You by...
Oh, so could Dice cut a rug?
Oh, boy, you said it.
Oh, well, good for him. Won't have to be a wallflower in prison.
Okay, so what happened after you left the pizzeria?
Oh, well, he's a very good driver. I mean, he drove the car like it belonged to somebody else.
That's because it did! He stole the car!
You're kidding! That explains the baby seat.
Didn't that seem a little bit odd to you?
Daddy, I didn't want to insult the guy that I had just met by asking if he had a family.
Wendy, isn't there a place inside of you that whispers to you when something seems wrong?
We're inside.
Hey, Wendy, heard you did the wild thing.
Out now!
What is with you, Wendy? You are so sick! No, Wendy, this is not Marie's fault for being too permissive. Nor is it the fault of the pizzeria for hiring you. Nor is it the fault of the convenience store for being open all night. Nor is it the fault of Congress for not making stricter gun control laws.
I just thought I'd mention it.
This is about you having phony IDs in the first place. You missing your curfew, Wendy. You dating a criminal. You, a 16-year-old, being bought a drink. You riding in a stolen vehicle with this hoodlum. Oh,
Mom, you're just emphasizing all the negative things about Dice.
I wasn't talking about Dice, Wendy. I was talking about you.
Well, when we do talk about him, let's remember his good side.
Come on, good side! Excuse me. What good side?
Okay. When we were parked on Old Johnson Road, he didn't just grope me. He asked if I minded. What? And I said not on a first date.
So we've made progress?
Oh, heck yeah! I think we're done.
I love that. Oh, that's a weird angle. I love seeing, first of all, Bill Kirchenbauer is such a great physical comedian. I love to see him rant. I swear I would watch just 30 minutes of him yelling at people. It's amazing. He has such a frustration in his voice, and he brings his whole self into it, and I love it. And then we see Deb Harmon as Elizabeth do the same thing. I loved the different things that Wendy tried to blame this on, ranging from the pizzeria to hiring him to Marie to Congress. I think that says a lot about Wendy's character. And again, Wendy's smart, but she is trying everything she can. She knows she's in trouble, although I think perhaps at some level she's still not really sure why. If I had to label it, I would say she probably thinks she should only be in trouble for staying out past curfew. I think the rest of it is not registering with her just yet.
I should have been.
I'm still waiting! Oh, honey, go back to sleep. Not you! Elizabeth, sleep.
Daddy, can I please just go to sleep, please?
This is no damn picnic for me either, you know? Wendy, I'm worried about you. This is important. Probably the most important talk we've ever had. I can't look out for you all the time. I want to know that you're safe. Eventually, you'll have to make your own decisions. Doesn't that mean anything to you, Wendy? What's the use? If you have any suggestions, I'll gladly take them.
Daddy? Oh, there you are. What are you doing?
Thinking about jumping.
Don't. I got it.
Sure you do.
Oh, no. I finally figured out the point that you and Mom have been trying to make to me all night.
No, this is just going to upset me all over again.
Oh, no, well, just listen. By doing all the wild stuff that I was doing, I kind of invited something bad to happen.
Your mother told you to say that, didn't she?
No, she's still sleeping.
You came up with that all by yourself?
It's eerie. I was sound asleep and it just kind of came to me.
Well, What do you know? You should spend a lot more time in bed.
Wait, there's more.
Wendy, don't push your luck.
Well, just tell me if I'm close. Because this is a thought I ordinarily wouldn't have at all. You guys made up those rules to help me because I can't always trust my judgment.
Yes. Yes! Yes!
Because sometimes my judgment may not be all that great.
Wendy, that's incredible.
Okay, my judgment stinks.
Honey, I'm sorry I lost faith in you.
Oh, that's okay.
See, with enough time, even you can develop a little maturity. Who knew? Yeah! Say it again.
I shouldn't always trust my judgment because it may not be that great.
Perfect! Perfect! Perfect.
But then again, whose is?
You know, this episode I can only imagine was tough. It's almost like what Wendy did was so extreme. I'm sure it almost felt like being written into a corner, and I think they handled it pretty well. Again, I as I've said, I think Wendy's the smartest Lubbock, and I can see her coming up with that on her own. But it was tough, and the show handled it appropriately for what Just the 10 of Us does. Like, it didn't get all, oh, let's hug and everything's gonna be okay. Like, she still takes it a step too far, and then Graham hears, and that's kind of where we end, which I feel like is definitely appropriate. But this was a fun Wendy episode, and by no means is our favorite schemes are they anywhere near being done. We still have the Virgin Island episode to go, so there's still a ways to go. All right, thank you as always for watching. So this episode is being released on YouTube on Thursday. Next Thursday is Thanksgiving, but I'm still going to release one then as well, because obviously I'm not filming this live and I just schedule it. So you'll still have one today, obviously, and next Thursday for you Americans such as myself who are celebrating Thanksgiving. So thank you so much, and I will see you then.